Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, Roger loses his spin, Oogie Boogie Bash ticket sales news,
specialty license plates for Disneyland fans. We finish our conversation with Haley, Clair, and more. DL Weekly starts now.
I am the podcast that flaps in the night. I am the episode teaser that promises more magic than you bargained for. I am DL Weekly.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of May 13th, 2026. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Alex Stewart.
Well, we would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we would like to give a special shout out to Brandon S., Donna L., Bonnie C., and Stephen W. for your continued support. If you would like to help support the show to get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, plus a bunch of other really fun perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now with that, let's get on to the news.
Dateline DL Weekly. Fiction becomes fact as the mysterious subcontinent reveals a legendary podcast. After 2,000 years, two hosts have been unearthed by famed archaeologist Dr. Henry Indiana Jones. Scholarly research laid the groundwork for Jones's discovery. Thus, the jungles of DL Weekly become the destination for listeners worldwide. And what a destination it is! Until next week, this is Eye on Breaking News.
Well, Magic Key holders are preparing for a digital showdown as pre-sale tickets for the 2026 Oogie Boogie Bash are set to go live next month. For those with an Inspire key, tickets go on sale June 16th, with all other key holders having access to the pre-sale on June 17th. However, no announcements on when these tickets will be available for general public just yet.
Oh, that's rough. Now, you're a Magic Key holder, right?
No, we actually we let it lapse. I know.
Oh,
it was very difficult. But it got to the point that we were not, the prices increased just enough that it was not actually.
Tip the scale.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, are you going to be there with your finger on the clicker getting ready for this?
Ready? Yeah. No, unfortunately, I will not be. But I'm sure many, many, many other people will be. But I just think it's wild. This is what's crazy. So you're a Magic Key holder, Alex, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this was like this little, nonchalant, who cares about this piece of news? Nobody's really caring and needs to know these dates. Piece of information was stuck at the bottom of a Magic Key holder, like email, letter, newsletter thing, kind of like, oh yeah. Oh, and by the way. Yeah, just kind of this little casual thing that a lot of people actually missed. So thankfully you've got the internet that keeps you informed on these things, and then podcasts like this that help keep you informed. But yeah, this was kind of a sneaky little announcement that was made. So mark your calendars if you're a Magic Key holder that wants to go to Oogie Boogie Bash, because
that just snuck right in there. I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they decided to be sneaky about that.
I'm not sure. Maybe because it's still it's over a month away, so maybe they're gonna have like a actual big announcement, and this was kind of just a like, oh, P.S.
Yeah, like
that's
a little pre-game of the pre-game.
Because like I said, they didn't announce when general ticket sales were going to be open, just the pre-sale for the Magic Key holders. So,
so historically, do they just wait a couple of days for those Oogie Boogie Bash to go general public?
Typically.
Okay, so you don't have to wait too long.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, it'd be like boom, 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 like the 16th, 17th, and then the 18th is when general public goes. Sometimes there's a little bit of a day or two gap, but we at least know mid-June is when it's going to happen.
That's incredible. Well, I don't know if this year's my year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
I'll be getting
to start doing your finger stretches now.
That is true. I need to have multiple computers. Yeah. I just went through that with Star Wars Celebration with some friends that they had like 9 computers out and they were just clicking like no one's business and still didn't get the passes that they wanted to.
Really?
Even in spite of those things. That's rough.
Yeah, I was seeing, so that was something else that happened last week, right? Star Wars Celebration is coming to LA for 2027. Tickets went on sale, and I think 30 minutes is when like the multi-day pass had sold out by. Like, it was quick.
It was bonkers how quick. And then like the Jedi Master tickets, which are $1,200 a person, sold out within 5 minutes. Like unbelievable.
So what do
the
those
demand.
Jedi Master tickets get you? Is it like
basically
VIP?
guaranteed to any panel? You also get some discounts. You get front of the line things, I think, for like meet and greets and stuff like that.
Nice.
I didn't get one. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm generally not a con guy.
Okay.
I'm not, I don't really go to D23. I went once, but yeah, I don't really do D23. I also don't do much of the celebration. I may go out for a day and just see what the hullabaloo and the hubbub is. But yeah, I'm a fuddy-duddy. Now that I think about it, I'm like, I'm not going to Oogie Boogie Bash. I'm not going to D23. I am a loser.
No, not at all. It's so with D23 coming up. So those tickets went on sale. Oh gosh, was that like a month, maybe 2 months ago at this point? I have I love going to D23, but it's a lot. Like
it's overwhelming.
You have to really have your brain in a much different mindset than typical, because you're never going to be able to do everything.
Yes.
And it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. I don't get overwhelmed typically in situations.
Same.
But I get very overwhelmed and very overstimulated at that. And so you got to be really committed to it. And that's for people who know me, I don't get overwhelmed at all by things. Yeah. But when I went into D23, I was like, I'm in over my head. This is too much. Yeah, it's so much. I was just talking with someone and he did his first D23 solo. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. I can't, because the first year, this is probably embarrassing to admit. We probably already admitted it in the podcast. The first year we went, Tag and I went, and we were like almost done with day 2 and realized that there was a whole other second half of the show floor that we didn't even know existed. And we're like, what? Like, we thought we were doing great. And then it's like, how was this stuff all hiding over here? Because that's the other thing too, is that building is just
massive.
Just massive. But anyways.
I will say we're going out and maybe I'll see you. Are you going to D23?
I am going to D23.
Well, then I'll see you in the parks, because we're going like right as D23 is about to start. So if you're there early, maybe I'll be able to see you. That'll be awesome.
There you go.
But that's what I will say this. Disneyland is usually crickets at that time.
True. And it's probably a great time to go just for that reason. Yeah, you go while D23 is going, except don't go in the evenings. Just go during the morning, and you just fly through the park. It's awesome. It's awesome. Speaking of the park, we've got a big update here, Teresa, and this one's huge. I'm really glad that you're having us crack the story on this, that there is an update to Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, and it's left some fans in a whirl as the ride's iconic interactive spinning feature has been permanently disabled following its latest refurbishment. While the steering wheels remain in the vehicles as props, Disneyland officials confirmed that spinning is now automated at specific intervals to increase ride reliability and reduce frequent mechanical downtime. The removal of the manual spinning mechanisms has allowed the attraction to officially offer lap sitting for the very first time, accommodating more of the park's youngest guests. So I would say that is the silver lining, right? Is that now I don't think there's like a height requirement, right?
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a height requirement anymore. So that's awesome. But interesting that it's literally in the name, right? Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. But, if it's going to help with ride reliability, that attraction, it's so fun and so cute. And I really do enjoy the queue because it's so well themed.
One of the first interactives,
Yeah. The wait times on that thing, though, can get kind of bonkers. So if
not worth it for what it is.
Right. Yeah. So if this can help with, getting people through and not having random stops throughout the day and stuff like that, I'm all for it. However, I've also seen reports online that this has some bugs that it's working out, as in people are on it and maybe their car is facing the other, because it's 2 cars at a time that get sent through. Yep. Maybe that front car, instead of facing forward, was facing the other car the entire time. Yep. So there's some bugs. They're working out some of the hiccups, but overall I think it's fun because actually I've done it both ways. I've gone through spinning like a crazy person, but then you really don't get to see the ride and see all the different sets and such. And I've also gone through like intentionally trying to hold it so we can just like enjoy the show scenes as we go through. So I get it. And if it does still have like crazy spins at some points, I think that'd be fun. And that's a good compromise.
If you had your choice, are you a spinner or a non-spinner?
I think at this point, I'm probably more of a non-spinner because I just really like the set. Spinning's fun, though, but I like it's just really well done and well themed, and you just don't get to see all that when you're spinning like a crazy person.
I think what's fascinating to me about this, and we actually had the pleasure of interviewing Joe Lanzicero, who was the vice president of Imagineering, who actually designed and basically put this ride together. And when we were picking his brain about it, there were a few things that really stood out to me as fascinating about Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. One of the cool things is they literally, when testing it, they put a teacup on the ride. And that's how they got that, is they literally just put one of the spinning teacups from the attraction on there to see and test exactly what that would feel like going through there. So in the essence of the attraction, it was about spinning. And the other thing that I'm very, very kind of bummed about in this is if you think about it from an innovation standpoint, Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin is the only attraction where you get 360 degrees of story on a dark ride.
Intentionally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because, again, we've talked about this in the past where the Imagineers control your gaze. Wherever your vehicle goes, you're looking in that area. And we've always talked about look the opposite of where they place you. But that's what's so groundbreaking about what Lanzicero and his team did with Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin is he said you can look wherever you want and you're going to see story. And so it takes away a big legacy. Is it going to take away the overall wonder of that ride? No, I don't think so necessarily. I think it takes away a unique aspect of it. But I think that this opens up a lot more. What I think is in the article, you see that they did this in response to guest survey. And they're very clear that they did that. And to be honest, I think one of the main reasons people avoid that ride is because of the same thing that they avoid the teacups for is motion sickness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nope. That's
and
a great point.
I think this is solving that problem.
No, that's a great point. And like I said, if it helps with ride efficiency and getting people through, bonus. Cherry on top.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out is if that's actually legit. Because the efficiency thing, I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing I can figure is with spinning, you may have things flying off people's heads and, stuff like that. So I don't know if
fair.
Maybe there's
Okay.
more kind of like that type of thing and not
so it's not necessarily the mechanisms that are falling apart, but that's very fair. That's very fair.
I can figure with the day-to-day. But maybe
totally makes sense.
It's like the pieces itself, because it is an older attraction. So maybe the actual mechanical stuff was needing more TLC than what they had time for or something.
It's not going to stop me from riding it, that's for sure. I'll still have a blast.
I'm curious to experience it with the, I don't know, the intentionality of them saying, nope, we want you to look here. Hopefully, maybe it still have a couple of hiccups when we're there, but I'm
You'll have to report back and let us know what your experience was like.
I'll have to report back. Well, last week we talked about how Disneyland had just celebrated their Week of Wishes, which of course is an annual celebration of their 45-year partnership with Make-A-Wish. Well, that celebration is continuing. Make-A-Wish and Charity Buzz have a fundraiser sweepstakes where fans who make donations to Make-A-Wish can enter for a chance to win. I don't know why you would choose not to enter for a chance to win this VIP weekend that includes a vacation to Disneyland and the global premiere of Avengers Doomsday.
Sounds boring. Don't sign me up.
This looks wild. Did you look at what this package all includes?
It is insane.
It is.
It is just insane.
Round trip airfare for up to 4 guests, up to 4 2-day Disneyland Resort park hopper tickets, a 2-night stay in the Pirates of the Caribbean suite at the Disneyland Hotel for up to those 4 guests. And if that wasn't good enough, you also get an official VIP tour of the Disneyland Resort with, of course, your tour guide, but it includes a visit to Walt's apartment, which is not a normal thing that you get to do on a VIP tour, I may add. So this is special. What other things do they get, Alex?
Well, I'm trying to find it down here in this article because I'm rolling down
it's
far.
Kind of hidden in this article.
Yeah, because this is the one thing that I had questions about is like all of the details because there was so much that was included. And the other thing that I'm curious about is like, do you just make a donation and then it allows you to be signed up for this, or do you have to do like a certain threshold? That's what I couldn't figure out.
Look, that's a good question.
This is the longest article, Dusty Sage.
The fine print, no donation necessary to enter or win.
Oh,
so even better. But of course,
because I think that might be a raffle rule. Because I know that like with raffles, they're illegal because it's like technically like gambling.
Sure.
Like you're.
Sure. So it looks like it varies. So depending on how much you want to donate is how many entries you get. So if you donate $25, it's 250 entries. So it's like what 10 entries per dollar, per dollar or something. So you can donate $50 for 100 bonus entries to make it 600 entries, $100 for 1,000 entries, etc., etc. So yeah, you could really rack up your chances to win. So after we've done our lovely VIP tour of the Disneyland Resort after the visit to Walt's apartment, which I'm just like stuck on that one. You then get dinner for 4 at Napa Rose, which is of course is inside Disney's Grand California Hotel and Spa.
This next one is insane.
Yeah. 4 tickets to the global premiere of Avengers Doomsday with red carpet access. And don't worry, you get a private glam squad service for the guests before you go to the premiere as well, along with private ground transportation to get you there.
Does this say what this whole package is valued at? It has to be insane.
Priceless, Alex. It is priceless.
Fair.
It is wild, though. I will make sure that we have this link in the show notes because if a weekly tier wins this, you don't even have to invite us. You just need to tell us.
Just tell us.
Tell us how it was because holy buckets, this is quite the thing. Well,
and be prepared when you get to this article, listener, because you will be scrolling for about 6.5 minutes until you get to this section.
SnackChat was the one that shared this bit of news. However, I think I'm going to just put the link for where you can go to do all the entries and everything because it's more consolidated. You still get all the information, of course, but that's also the place to make your donation to get entered into this fabulous sweepstakes.
This is just unbelievable. Oh, my word.
Of that list, what's like the top most exciting thing for you?
Being such a backstage fan, I would say probably the VIP tour is something that I would be very excited about. But honestly, even though I'm not like I'm a Marvel fan. I'm not diehard, but that would be a once in a lifetime experience. All of this other stuff you could potentially find a way to pay for.
Yeah.
The 4 tickets to the global premiere and having red carpet access is something you can't pay for.
Yeah.
And
you got to somehow get yourself on some list somewhere to get that kind of access.
Yes. I think that's the thing that is absolutely astounding to me. What is the thing that you would be like, what would make you want to sign up for this?
So Marvel is not super my thing. I enjoy the movies, but I don't know how I feel about doing a premiere. Like, I think it'd be cool. I'm so all about the Disneyland part of this, like staying in that pirate suite, because that is not a cheap room to be in.
No.
And then the VIP tour if you do the VIP tour, please request Philander. He is amazing. Because if you want history and all that, he's the one. But then to be able to do, that's like my dream, is to be able to do the Walt's apartment tour and the Lily Bell sans like, here's my ticket, I paid to be in this space thing.
Yes.
I want to have more of a like organic experience, and this feels like it's closer than
like a specialty.
Yep, like I paid to, like I want the pixie dust experience, which doesn't exist anymore for either of those things, but I still really want it. So this feels like the closest to that.
I mean, I think personally, the private ground transportation is a real winner for me.
That's the thing right there.
I love that they even put that on the list. Just so you know, there's private ground transportation.
We'll get you there. I feel like if you've got the glam squad, what are you supposed to wear? What does one wear to a premiere?
Well, they put you in it. You don't even wear anything. You go in a robe, and then I think that they put you in an Iron Man suit. That's my guess. Either that, or they're going to put you in a tuxedo with the word usher over your left breast pocket, and they're going to be like, "Hey, you work this thing," which I'd be fine with. I'm like, heck, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's just, man, some crazy lucky winner.
I hope a listener wins that, and please let us know if you do. Well, speaking of winning, I feel like this is something that a lot of California residents are going to feel like they win if this actually goes through, because California residents may soon be able to show their Disney pride on the open road with a newly announced Disneyland Resort Specialty License Plate offering. This magical collaboration between Disney and the California Children's Hospital Association will raise funds for 13 pediatric hospitals across the state, supporting healthcare services and patient programs. The project needs 7,500 pre-orders to move forward, so fans are encouraged to sign the interest form now to help bring this dash of pixie dust to California bumpers. I think that, because I don't know when this goes live, but I think that this is a shoo-in.
Oh, come on. There's no bad part about this.
No.
It's you're getting things to the Disney fans that I'm sure they've been wanting for years in California, because Walt Disney World has specialty license plates in Florida. So it's, something they have that we don't. And it's benefiting local children's hospital. Come on.
Sick kids. Yeah.
Come on. Even if you're not a Disneyland fan, how could you not want one of these?
It's worth it.
Plate?
Well, and the cost for it is, for a non-personalized one, it's just $50 a year. And then you have annual renewals of $40 on top of that. If you want to get it personalized, like Mickey Fan 4 or something like that, it's going to be $103 and $83. But all of that money is going to a great cause. Now, the only reason why somebody may not want to do this is because we don't know what the design exactly is going to look like yet, do we?
Not yet. Not yet. They can't be bad though, right?
I don't know. I'm just saying that might be the only reason why somebody has hardened their heart and made it shrink 3 sizes too small to want to do something like this.
I'm so curious because they only need 7,500 pre-orders,
which will happen in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm curious how quickly they will meet that, because I think there's a high demand, even with the unknown of what this thing's actually going to look like. I think they're going to get that in like no problem whatsoever. Of course.
I'll be really curious to see what the plate looks like.
Oh yeah, me too. Can out-of-state fans just buy one for, fun?
That's a great question. And I think probably there's got to be some sort of felony against that.
Probably.
Like just to go in and try to buy a vanity plate just because you want it from a certain state.
I just want to put it like on my wall. I'm not going to use it.
You just need a P.O. box, right? Isn't that what they say is the workaround? Just get a P.O. box?
Something like that.
If only we knew a mail carrier who could really help us exploit that law.
We also need someone at the California DMV to make sure.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, speaking of local connections, a local business called Advantage Color Graphics has been the secret force behind Disneyland's iconic park maps for over 40 years. CEO Tom Ling recently shared that while digital apps are rising, the printed guide map remains a vital souvenir and navigation tool, and it is produced by a dedicated local team just miles from the resort. In recognition of this decades-long partnership and their commitment to craftsmanship, Disneyland recently honored the company with a special commemorative shadow box and the prestigious Supplier of the Year award.
Oh, I've always wanted that award. I've been working for that.
I know. There's so many things that have broken my little brain. This is one of them. Because in my mind, Disneyland is like pumping out their own maps somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. Extra, read all about it. Coming off the press.
They've got some, Disneyland's got everything. They can do all the things. So in my mind, Disneyland has some sort of print shop that they are partnered with a local print shop that is doing all of these things. How cool is it that these, the people at Advantage Color Graphics are those people and have had this relationship, and they've been doing it for 40 years? Come on.
That's insane. I agree with you. It is funny because we do just kind of think that this comes straight from Walt Disney Studios, that they're like, there's a Xerox somewhere out there that's dedicated to those park maps, and they've just got one intern just pushing them through. It is so true that, I mean, I as being a small business owner, I love that they are going small business on this, that they're not using a big box print shop, and that they're going with a local family business that they've been working with for 4 decades.
The other thing too, the volume that I want to go see this Advantage Color Graphics place, because how big is this facility? Because how the heck are they able to have time to do anything else for any other customer? Because think of park maps. You've got one for Disneyland. You've got one for DCA. They now have the children's versions of the maps, which are very adorable. If you haven't seen those,
all the languages,
all the languages. And then you've got all of the different seasons have a different theme, overlay, whatever you want to call it. All the specialty events have their own little versions of the map, so you can navigate the event. And then if an attraction or something changes, we're not even talking about like the main artwork. They have to redo all the map. It's constant. It's got to be. And then how many are how many are people grabbing every day at the parks? I just can't wrap my brain around how many maps that this has to be.
Well, and the thing that, I mean, I obviously made a joke at the very beginning of this segment of being like, I've wanted that Supplier of the Year award, but put it into perspective. Think about all of the supplies that Disney gets to run on a daily basis. Straws, napkins, cups, plates, packaging, all of these different things, hangers, literally like the thousands, the tens of thousands of things that they get from suppliers. That really is a prestigious award, that you rise to the top of all of those suppliers for Disneyland to make it to the top. That is really impressive. It's really impressive.
Well, and it's Disney, so they could go with anyone. So you know that they're partnering with like the best of the best of the best, because they have the option to, if it's not up to snuff, that they're gonna, they can move along. But just wild. It's
overwhelming to think about how many maps they have to be pumping out. Are you a map collector?
I am a map collector.
Yeah, how can you not be?
I love them. I absolutely love them. So
it's awesome because it's history, free history, that you can keep a record of those things. And as you go back in the past, you literally just see the various archaeological layers of Disneyland when you've got those maps. It's awesome. And it's free. Everybody go get a map. Go support Advantage Color Graphics by keeping those maps, because if we don't take them, then they're not going to be printed. And this is something that will disappear.
Well, and it's one of the few free, handheld souvenirs that you can have, because we don't have tickets anymore, which I'm still very sad that we don't have tickets. I know that it's on your phone, and I'm very sad that, there's not a physical pass that you can scan if you're a Magic Key holder. That just makes me sad. But, so I love the maps even more for that. But
agreed.
It's wild.
And it's the only thing you don't have to ask for. You can get a button, but you have to ask for a button.
That's true.
And this is just something that they put right at the front, and they say, hey, just take one.
Grab a couple if you really want a couple maps. Why not?
I love it.
Before we head on over to SnackChat, there was some rumblings in the pin collecting world, or the pin trading world, if you will, that Disney has updated some of their kind of guidelines, if you will, about pin trading in the park. Specifically, it sounds like they're going to try and, I know that there's been various, over the years, they've been trying to do different things with pin trading between guests in the park. This sounds like they're not going to really be okay to people lingering and setting up shop, if you will.
Yes. Because it has become a little bit of like a flea market feel, especially around the front gates of Frontierland.
Yeah, and the thing too is, so it used to kind of be just open and you could do whatever you wanted. Then they kind of shifted a couple years ago that you could only do it during these times on these dedicated tables. So they try to kind of reel it in a little bit. But now it sounds like they're trying to shift away from it altogether. I more recently have come into pin trading in the park. I am a chicken. I am a total chicken, so you will find me trading with the pin board, and maybe I will gain the courage to talk to a cast member that has pins on lanyards because I just feel like I'm being a bother. I know I'm not, but that's me. So I was definitely not brave enough to step into the ranks of the serious pin traders over in Frontierland to do guest trading. So
you're not going to mourn the loss of this.
No, this was not something that no. If anything, it like makes me feel a little like easier because now it's not like I don't
There's
feel
no
like
pressure.
Yes, you should do, like, you're an adult, just go to no, I don't have to worry about it. But I do feel sad because I know a lot of people really enjoyed it and like would do stuff when they have the different blind bags. Of course, you don't want to buy your weight in these blind bags just to complete the set. So it was great to be able to trade with other traders.
For sure.
You complete your sets and all that. So the rules are kind of, what is it? Handheld, basically. So if you've got like a little something you can hold, I think they're trying to prevent the multi-page books and the backpacks and all that. But
there's a lot. I mean, I've never been a trader.
No.
So this has just never been on my radar. I see both sides of it. I see it from Disney's side where, again, if it's starting to affect guest experience, then that's a reason why they probably want to get rid of it. From a Disney shareholder's perspective, Teresa, I have one share of Disney, so I can call myself.
There you go.
From a shareholder's perspective, it doesn't necessarily benefit the bottom line of Disney for pin traders. I mean, they buy them, but then they're literally just trading amongst themselves. So from that perspective, I can see why they don't necessarily want to push it. I think that from a pin trader's perspective, it's a lose-lose situation. You come to Disneyland as a pin trader to be in the happiest place on earth to do this pin trading, and not being able to do that does take away one layer of the trading experience. What I see happening with this, though, is an entirely new periphery opportunity, which is pin trader cons, pin trader meetups that are larger scale and more official, because since they can't do it in the parks, they've got to find some place to do this.
Yeah.
And I see either the local hoteliers or something like that being willing to have hosted events where they can have these traders come and have a dedicated time to do this. So I don't think it's going to necessarily make it disappear altogether, but I do think that it's going to disrupt it. I think it's going to change it. And I think that pin traders are 100% able to be upset by this. I also think that Disney is 100% justified in their actions too. So I think that two things can exist at the same time in that way.
The one thing I'm kind of wondering is, I think it's difficult. Why Frontierland it's always been the place where people kind of would gather to do pin trading stuff. Maybe because there's a pin store right there. I don't know. I don't know why.
It's a great question.
Why it was Frontierland? Because there's also a pin store in Tomorrowland. There's a pin store. There's pin stores in various spots, but Tomorrowland just happened to be the spot. And it's just kind of a bottleneck right there. So I understand from like the park's perspective of wanting to kind of make sure guest flow isn't as interrupted. But with pin folks, maybe go out to like the picnic area that's just outside of Disneyland, over in front of like the guest service and lockers area. It's a nice little kind of secret spot that a lot of people don't know about. And then you don't have to have a park ticket to be able to go trade pins. You can still trade pins. That feels like it's a little like more out of the way and not in the middle of, where the park stuff is happening. So maybe something like that might work, but I'm curious about the whole thing. The other thing too, I don't know how much pin news you keep up on, Alex, but
a lot.
I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, Disneyland started doing something different to kind of try and help with pin trading with cast members, or pin trading in the park in general, where they have these shadow boxes now. And the shadow boxes are all authentic pins. They didn't have to go through some crazy training for the cast members to be able to make sure of this. What it is if you buy like one of those blind packs that day, you can open your blind pack, see what pins there are. If you got ones you wanted, awesome. If not, as long as you have like your receipt and your package, it had to have been purchased that day, and go back over to those pin trading stations, if you will, you can trade with the shadow box. So then they're
brilliant.
making sure that they're like that you're able to swap through. And there's different rules. Like maybe this case was a blind pack that you got 5 pins in a bag, and this case is one that you got 2 pins in a bag, or whatever. There's layers of rules that the cast members kind of keep an eye on to help keep things like fair and even, I guess would be a good way of saying it. But unfortunately, if you look at the boards themselves, there's a lot of fake pins out there, which is disheartening for people to accidentally trade like a genuine pin for a fake pin. So,
which I didn't even realize that was a thing, but it totally makes sense that it's a thing, and that's awful.
Yeah. So I feel like the resort's trying to help and do things for pin traders. So it is kind of just sad to see that this may be something in Yesterland, but I'm curious. I'm curious how it goes.
I mean, I will say this. As from a financial perspective, I understand blind boxes. As a fan, I hate blind boxes. I think that they are the worst creation ever. And I do appreciate that Disney almost agrees with that. That Disney's like, so this is out of left field for me, listener. If you know me from any other world, you'll know I'm not like a trinket and tchotchke collector. But those stupid Labubu's, those got me. Those hooks went straight inside of me, and I was obsessed. I don't know why. I just wanted that stinking Goofy. And I bought...
Too many.
I don't know if I should say this on air. I bought 12, I think.
Wow.
In one trip.
Did you get Goofy?
I never got Goofy. I never got Goofy. I got the Huey, Dewey, and Louie like rare one. Yeah. I got Mickey. I got a couple of Donalds, Daisy. I got a half a dozen Plutos, but nothing when it comes to Goofy. But what I love, the whole thing here is, outside of embarrassing myself, the big thing that I love about that is they did have a place that they were like, if you got one that you didn't want and you see one available in this case, we'll trade it out for you. And so they were willing to do that. But then there were people outside of I think it's called Storyland now, where they sell those, and people will just sit there and watch people unbox and be like, did you want that or not? Because I'm willing to trade. And it's cool because it does create a community. Yeah. It creates this conversation. It creates a connection point. And so I don't necessarily think Disney's discouraging it at all, as it said. I think that they're just saying, hey, let's not congregate, because when we congregate, it's going to confuse guests, because they're going to be like, hey, is this something that is included in my ticket, included in the admission? Is this something I need to take away from other parts of the park in order to appreciate? And when it's just a bunch of fans doing stuff, it can create confusion and bottlenecking, like you said.
That's a great. So, okay, now you've got me. Did you get to trade for Goofy at least?
Nope. I do not have a Goofy in my possession.
So Goofy is like the one everybody wants then.
Well, no, that's the thing, is Goofy's not super sought after. Like, Goofy is considered a very common Labubu.
And you're so what the heck?
Yep. And so I don't want to, I can go on eBay and buy one for like the same price, but that's not, exactly. It's not the same. It's not the chase. And so I'm still I don't know what to do. I'm at a crisis point. I don't know how to get my Goofy Labubu.
Okay. So listeners, if you were someone who also caught the Labubu bug and you have a Goofy that you very much do not want, and you would rather any of the different, apparently every other possible character you could have pulled out of a box, I bet you Alex would be willing to trade.
Yep, I sure would. Reach out to me at the Backside of Water on Instagram,
there you go, and
I will be more than happy to do a trade ski. I've got a couple that might suit your fancy. I love that, Teresa. Thank you, community.
I feel so bad that you couldn't pull the common. That was me. No. That was me. We did the World of Color dining package or dining dessert package, and they now have like pins. You get a fig pin with it.
Okay.
And there's like 3 different ones you could get. There's like the regular color one, and then there's one that's a little more rare that's like color with like sparkles on it, and then the like ultra rare one, which was like gold tones. And so I just wanted the common or the sparkly one. That's all I wanted. What did I pull? the ultra rare that was like the gold tones. And I'm like,
exactly.
I understand that this is the rare one, but that doesn't mean I want it. So somebody at my table wanted it, so we were able to trade right there. But I was just like, why? How is it that when I want the rare thing, that is not the one I get? But, it's just how it goes.
Yeah, when I pulled that Huey, Dewey, and Louie, I was hanging it on my crossbody, and everybody was like, you got that? You got that? And I was like, yeah, and I don't want it. I want Goofy. Yeah, and people are like, how are you not wanting that? That's super rare. And I'm like, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they're cute, granted. Yeah. But still, I want that. I want that
You're
Goofy.
Like, I get it. And if you're a collector, I get wanting it. But sometimes you're just like us. You're just the casual. I like the thing. I want the thing.
I want the heart wants what it wants.
And it's Goofy.
I up, down, touch the ground. I think of things to chew, like honey and milk and chocolate. With a hefty, happy appetite, I'm a hefty, happy poo. A rumbly in my tumbly means it's time for snacks.
Well, with that, this next story in SnackChat might make you feel a little goofy after you've gone through this experience.
Ooh, good transition.
Have you done one of these Trader Sam mixology classes? They are back.
I have not. I have not done a mixology at Trader Sam's. I did one in the Sublight Lounge on the Galactic Star Cruiser in Walt Disney World. But they did, from my understanding, though, this isn't just like a tasting around the world. They actually teach you how to make the drinks.
They do. They teach you how to make a couple of the famous, or infamous, we should say, different drinks that you can enjoy while at Trader Sam's. So this is, of course, a fan favorite spot, but they are also celebrating, I think it was like a 15-year anniversary. There's some big anniversary they're celebrating as well.
It's been around for a while now.
An extra special mixology class. So this, you get to do, what is it? You get to craft one of the drinks. They teach you how to do it. You also get to craft a non-alcoholic version as well. So you get an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic. And then afterwards, there's a reception where you can celebrate your creations with yet another cocktail, some hors d'oeuvres, which I typically are from Tangaroa Terrace there, and live entertainment. So it's not just this little, learn how to make a drink and go home, thanks for coming sort of thing. It's quite the experience. And then people that are tiki mug collectors would also be excited to know that you get a special 15th anniversary mug as part of this experience as well. It's kind of a, I don't know, your take home gift or whatever you want to call it. So,
which I'm curious if that's exclusive to just this event or if they're going to be releasing the 15th anniversary mug and you just get one of them. Yeah. Because as somebody who has a big foot in the tiki community, that would change it for everybody. Because you look at the price tag on this at $183 per person before tax, before gratuity. So with tax and gratuity, you're looking about $210 per person here on the conservative side. That's a lot of money. But when you look, Teresa, you can see it where I'm pointing right now. Yes. That is the backside of Water mug. It's the Jungle Cruise mug right there. That thing alone set me back, I think it was $86.
Yeah.
Is it worth $86? Yeah. But did I pay $86 for it? Yes. So if you look at it this way, if you're getting like an actual solid mug, that alone is almost $100 right there.
Yeah.
So for the rest of this, you're paying like $120 for it looks like it's probably a 90-minute experience is what it's kind of rounding out to since there's 3, 5, 8 o'clock. And there may be a lot of people who are willing to do this. Is this something that would draw you to Trader Sam's to do? I
feel like I need to do this once.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think just because I really enjoy Trader Sam's and this is just some, like more of an experience that you get to do there. Besides just going there, enjoying the atmosphere and the drinks and meeting new friends, this is just like an experience, like something that's kind of unique to that space. Vern is starting to get into the tiki mug collecting, which
it's an addiction.
It's expensive. So there's a very expensive mug right there. We went to Club 33 last year, and that is nice. A Club 33 tiki mug. So,
wait, which one is it?
It's the Vulture.
Oh, I love that one.
Mhm.
Yes,
the
that
vulture.
one's awesome because it's also got that Club 33 lore in it too.
Yes, yes. So I mean, it was a good one. It was a very
Yeah.
good one for him to have gotten. But yeah, so it's kind of tiki mugs are starting to kind of creep into our home as well. They're gorgeous though, so I understand
Yeah.
why people collect them. But I don't know
Mhm.
how you like don't collect all of them.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's hardest, especially when you have creators like shout out to my bro Tiki Tony. If you've got somebody like Tiki Tony Murphy who creates Disney themed and inspired tiki mugs
Yeah.
that are based off of Disney IP, I should say homages
There you
to
go.
those.
Yeah.
They're not specific. That's when it becomes a real problem because Disney and Tiki are really, really friendly with one another.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to go down that path. I would think that I would do this if I was local. I think that that would be a real draw. I think that's the interesting thing is this just shows the locality of Disneyland versus Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
You really probably wouldn't see something like this happening at Grog Grotto
Very true.
because it is very, very travel, or I should say tourist friendly. This is for the locals
Yeah.
because you do have a lot of locals at Trader Sam's. And what I'll be interested to see is realistically, let's be completely honest, for those who are in the tiki world, we can find every single recipe for every single Trader Sam's drink online within
Very true.
6 keystrokes. And so you're not paying for the secret recipe.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, when you get something like Gorilla Grog, they don't tell you what's in that, which is their base mix. But there are people who have deconstructed and come
Yeah.
up with as close to possible that you can. But what I'm curious about is what drinks they're actually teaching you. Are they teaching you like how to do a hippopotami Mai Tai? Probably not. They're probably teaching you how to do a Mai Tai, which is one thing that I'll be really curious as like deep tiki files go. They're probably not interested in learning how to do a Mai Tai because they learned how to
Yeah.
do Trader Vic's signature Mai Tai. So I'm really curious and interested. If you do this, you'll have to let me know which drinks they actually decide to teach you.
So even on like building off of that, if they've done these mixology seminars kind of fairly regularly the last couple of years, so I'd be curious too if you've experienced one of these mixology seminars. What drinks did you do? But then if you're a repeat mixology seminar person, is it the same drinks or do they swap them out like is there a different theme each time? So like maybe during like the Halloween season there's I don't know more like spooky themed cocktails that they're doing versus just generic. That sounds bad because nothing really about tiki is generic, but kind of
Well,
like
no,
the
but the standards,
standards,
yeah.
You know, so I'd be curious about that too if it has something to do with, you know, maybe the mug or the season or whatever.
That would be awesome if they did that. So, listeners, if you ever do these or if you have done these and done multiple of them, weigh in. Let us know what your experience was. I have a feeling that Disney's not going to repeat, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, we first spoke with our friends over at Where in the Park podcast back on episode 265. Amanda, Kevin, and Kim create amazing and fun seek and find scavenger hunt games in theme parks all over the United States. So whether you're looking for a challenge at the Disneyland Resort or want to explore a new place like Universal Studios or Knott's Berry Farm, there are fun game packs for everyone. Where in the Park is perfect for a first-time visit to experience the small details that make the park's wonderful places to visit, or to challenge yourself on your 100th visit to see how well you know those details. Where in the Park is for you. Please visit the link in our show notes to get started.
Welcome aboard the DL Weekly Trivia Land cruise. On your left, you'll see James and Vern sharing this week's questions, and on your right, Tag and Teresa scrambling for answers. Please keep your legs and arms inside the boat. The hosts are always looking for handouts.
Welcome to Trivia Land, where we have got the best listeners in the world who send us the best questions to really test your knowledge. How you feeling today? Do you have some great knowledge pumped up in your brains, Teresa and Alex? Alex, this is your second time here in Trivia Land. Are you still feeling strong from last time?
I'm still wondering if I meet the height requirement at this point.
That's awesome. I don't know. I feel like you were like really pumping up the best questions, best listeners.
Because I always appreciate the listeners doing my job for me.
Fair. I feel like if they have the easiest questions, then those are the best questions.
Oh, sure. Well, there is at least one in here that I look at it and I go, well, okay, to me it's an easy one.
This is what you said last week. You said this exact thing last week, and I felt a
anytime that I
fool.
look at the answer and I say, well, I knew that, then I assume that you guys would know it. So.
Well, because Teresa just watches a bunch of TikToks about gloves, apparently.
That's right. That was very random. That just, yeah.
That's amazing, though.
Very true. Wow.
Whoever that person was, and my algorithms are just like aligned with Disney pin trading.
Let's see if it sticks this week.
Let's see.
Yes. All right. Well, let's see how it goes. Your first question from listener Jocelyn. Put the following 5 now defunct Disneyland attractions in order of the year that they debuted.
Oh, debut.
Bonus points if you know the years. They are The Flying Saucers, Rainbow Caverns Mine Train, Carousel of Progress, Motorboat Cruise, and the Mike Fink Keelboats.
Ooh. Okay.
So,
Teresa, you want to hit it first?
Order that they came out, and bonus points if you know the years.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Carousel of Progress.
Mm-hmm.
In general, when did it debut? Or
what was its debut?
When it debuted at the park. Because that's two answers.
You work on your answer, and I will confirm.
Okay.
So I believe Carousel of Progress, out of all of those, is the last to debut.
One?
Yes, because I believe it debuted in 1966 or 67. Because it came right after the World's Fair, but I don't believe that Walt was alive to see it in the park, just like Small World.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So the one that I am struggling with is in order. Well, Teresa, I want to hear your thoughts first before I wax poetic.
We had, now I forgot what we had. The Keelboats, Carousel of Progress, the Motor Cruise.
To answer your question about Carousel of Progress and which debut, its world debut or its Disneyland debut, it will come in order at the same spot regardless of which year you use.
Okay, so we're going to go with Alex's spot and put that last. I feel like the Flying Saucers may have been the first one, because it was Flying Saucers, Mine Train.
Flying Saucers, Mine Train, Carousel, Motorboat Cruise, and Mike Fink Keelboats.
I'm going to say Mike Fink Keelboats is first, I believe.
Before?
Yes. Then I believe Flying Saucers, which were only there for like 2 or 3 years.
A minute, yeah. The Motorboat Cruise about that same time?
I believe Motorboat Cruise came after Midget Autopia, though.
Oh,
that's the thing.
Oh, yes. So maybe that's before the carousel.
And so they took out Midget Autopia to put in Small World.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking, and I'm not saying that word as a derogatory term, everybody. Yeah. That's just literally what it was called. I have to cover our tracks with that because I don't want to make it sound like I'm being insensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think in order of debut.
So Keelboats, Flying Saucer, we didn't...
and then I think Mine Train because it took over Pack Mules. But I don't remember what year it took over Pack Mules.
So are we thinking the... Well, now I'm confused. Do we think the motorboats were before or after the Carousel of Progress?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is because I think that they were very similarly timed because the motorboat crew... Well, no, wait. No. Motorboat Cruise is last.
Okay.
Motorboat Cruise is last because it even had a Gummy Glen overlay for the Disney afternoon in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yep. It was it was there for a while.
But when it was built,
when it debuted.
Yeah, when it debuted.
We're not looking for how long it lasted.
I'm still going to leave it last for mine, I think.
You're leaving Motorboat Cruise last?
I think motorboats are last.
I think I'm going to go with you on that. And then, okay, so we've got Mike Fink first.
Yep, Mike Fink first, and then the saucers, followed by Mine Train, Carousel of Progress, and then Motorboats.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good lineup.
Those are the only 5, right? We didn't miss.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
List every attraction in order in the park.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Don't
No.
future questions.
Oh, man.
Where do we
Could you
begin?
imagine?
Every
That would be like-
attraction that has ever been in the park.
Be like
in
4
order
episodes.
of debut.
And alphabetical.
Oh. All right, so final answer?
Final.
I think final answer.
All right, but in what order did you do that in again?
Keelboats, Flying Saucers, Mine Train,
Train.
the Carousel of Progress, and Motorboats last.
And Motorboats last. All right. Your second listener submitted question from listener Todd B. Esmeralda the Fortune Teller has tarot cards that at least at one point in history have featured the artwork of which attraction?
Esmeralda the Fortune Teller.
Yeah,
Where's
she
she
on
at?
Main Street, maybe?
Is she the one that's in the penny arcade?
Yes.
Yep.
I've always been afraid to
There was
go
an
over to her for fear
attraction?
that I might be stuck in a child's body, like if I use that thing.
Oh, what movie is that from?
Big.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yes. I'm like, wait, I've seen that in a movie. What movie is that? Yes, it's Tom Hanks Big. Yep.
What attraction?
Shoot.
Yeah, you pump in your quarter and she gives you a tarot card. And the question actually says at least some points in history, but in my research checking up on the question, it's been several times
Okay.
that her tarot cards have featured the artwork from blank.
The same attraction?
I have found many references that this particular attraction has been featured on her tarot cards.
To me, I could only think Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, that's me too, that it would only be Haunted Mansion, but
But that could be a red herring.
I don't know, because I feel like if it Haunted Mansion would make sense more if Esmeralda was located in New Orleans Square, but she is not.
Yes.
She's on Main Street, so that's why I'm like, can we get a hint? Can you tell us what land it's in?
She's on Main Street.
No. Like what land the attraction is.
It's in Disneyland.
Oh, damn, thanks.
Since I have absolutely no clue, I'm going to go just a really silly answer, and I'm going to say Country Bear Jamboree.
Okay. That's an answer.
That's an answer.
Though my heart wants to say logically it's Haunted Mansion.
The only thing I can figure is Haunted Mansion. I'm trying to think,
Yeah.
like, on Main Street, like, I don't know, one of the attraction vehicles or something, but what? None of
But
that
what would that
really
have
make
to do with
sense.
fortunes
Yeah.
or Fantasyland? I mean, because it seems
Yeah.
like if it's the gateway to Fantasyland, maybe. I really feel
going
this
with
Country
Haunted
Bear
Mansion.
Jamboree. I'm really confident in that
The
one.
vacation hoedown or just the regular?
The Christmas overlay.
There you go.
All right, so we're going Country Bear Jamboree and Haunted Mansion. Final answers.
That's as good as
Sure.
it's going to get.
All right. Your third question from listener Ace. Closing in 1963, Disneyland once had a museum of geology called Mineral Hall. Where can you still find the original window from this exhibit?
Oh.
Do you know this one?
Off the top of my head, I don't, but I know that I have seen the Mineral Hall.
Yeah. How specific do you need to be?
So
Like, do I need to
the
know?
Mineral Hall facade is not where the window is. The actual glass window is still fully intact, but it's at a different location.
Got it. I was going to say, because the original Mineral Hall was Frontierland.
Yes.
Is it in Big
window's
Thunder Mountain?
Gotta be in
Rainbow
Frontierland
Ridge?
still. Maybe the glass is in like the little town.
I
in
feel
Rainbow
like
Ridge.
it's in Rainbow Ridge.
Let's go with that.
Okay, final answer.
Final
Rainbow Ridge.
answer, Rainbow Ridge.
I think that I just totally misdirected us.
That's okay.
Are you thinking like in the townscape behind the
Mhm.
trains?
Well,
I
that just
thought
gave
it
it away
was,
that I
like,
think we're wrong.
Still, I thought.
Or
it was,
am I guiding you to the right answer?
Oh,
I
dear.
have been known to do that.
I don't.
Well, because for some reason, it feels like Mineral Hall, like when I was working. I never heard that trivia because when you get trained on an attraction, they point out things like there used to be a picture of Tony Baxter in there, stuff like that. But they never pointed that out. But that doesn't mean that it's not there, because there's a lot of stuff they didn't point out. I'm still sticking with Rainbow Ridge.
Yeah, my only other thought is I don't even know what the buildings are called, because they're stores now. But one of the buildings, like across from, like next to the Golden Horseshoe on that like strip there.
I think that's a safe space too.
But that's where it was, though.
Or maybe it's not in any of those places.
Oh, great. Okay, never mind. The Haunted Mansion.
Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah. Well, whatever. We're leaving it. Rainbow Ridge. We're locking in.
You're locking in on Rainbow Ridge.
That's as good as it's going to
Locked.
All right. And your final answer tonight from listeners Paul and Chris. On Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, what does the RRR stand for on the trains?
Runamuck Railroad.
Good job. I love that. Run amok.
Oh, Runamuck. Yuck.
All right. Final answer.
I think that's what it is,
Both of
right?
you seeming pretty confident on that one.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, listeners, how do you think they did? How did you do listening at home? If you stick around until after today's discussion topic, we can all find out the answers together.
Well, this week we continue our conversation with Haley Clair about her legendary grandmother, Harriet Burns. Back to Harriet. So she, we've talked about the Tiki Room, we've talked about the castle, pirates, Lincoln. What were some of the other things that she touched
Haunted
that maybe
Mansion.
other people don't
Haunted
know?
Mansion. She definitely worked on Haunted Mansion. I don't know. I don't have a ton of story. Oh, I do have a story about Haunted Mansion. It was fun. She was the first runner-up for Madame Leota before she was called Madame Leota. Nobody really knows this, but we do have photos of her screen tests. She essentially was asked to audition, per se, to be the head in the ball. And she did these screen tests, and they decided that she was too petite and too dainty. They wanted more iconic.
Someone with a bigger
features.
head.
Well, that's not exactly a bigger head, but I mean, when you look at Leota's facial, she's got cheekbones for the gods. Everybody dreams of those cheekbones and this incredible facial structure, and that I think definitely has more. It has more of a punch in that atmosphere, but it is funny to know that it could have been my grandma's head in there.
That's crazy.
That would have been so weird to just see your grandma's head floating in the Haunted Mansion in perpetuity.
And Kim Irvine has talked about that. I think it's in maybe the Imagineering story where they talk about they go in the Haunted Mansion and they're like, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Grandma."
Yeah. And people look at them funny like, what? No, it's real.
But we have got photos of her working on the birthday cake ghost, the one who blows out the candles.
Yes.
She's fixing her hair in the photo. So I do think she worked on almost all of the figures in that, again, as a figure finisher. And I would love to come back around to pirates too, because in the figure finishing world, you were asking how do they come up with the ideas to design these figures? And one of them, everybody's favorite pirate. I don't know if you can guess. Who's your favorite pirate, or the most iconic, maybe?
That's still there, or that is not there anymore?
Still there.
That's
still there.
Still there.
I've got
singular.
I've got one
So
that
many
no one
iconic.
else does.
Oh,
You have
ahead.
one?
Go ahead.
Okay.
She be a feisty one, she be. I love the dude that's just drunk with all the cats.
Oh, I love him too. He's really funny, but that's not the one I'm referencing. The one that I want to talk about is the Dirty Foot Pirate who sits on the bridge.
Yes.
Yes. Is it true? Is it true that that's real hair on the leg?
Well, real human hair?
That's what I'd heard, is that it was actual human hair on the leg. It's gnarly.
All I know is that she had to put every individual hair in.
Wow.
Well done.
And so I don't know if it's real or synthetic.
Yeah.
I know they did work with real materials a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
I can remind me to circle back around because I have another story, but I don't want to get too tangenty.
Yep.
But I know they did work with a lot of real materials because Walt wanted realism, but I don't know. I don't know if that's real hair or if it's synthetic. But I know that she had to physically input with, I don't know, tweezers or something, every single hair in that man's leg. And the design for him and his aesthetic was her milkman in the 50s.
Wow.
Because back in the 1950s, everybody had their milk delivered in bottles by the
Yes.
milkman.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom says she remembers him, and he looked like this, like, just very, very disheveled, and he wore the sort of like baggy pants, and he had all of this like beard, hair, facial situation, and he was always kind of a mess.
Just very much
And now
piratical.
he lives
Very.
forever in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's so funny that you think it's like these creative types that like you just like have an interaction, and then she goes like, "Bing, I'm gonna make a pirate out of you."
You would be a great pirate. Yeah.
You would be a
well,
great
That's
pirate.
incredible.
I mean, look at we talked about this with the Tiki Room. She was just talking with Walt and then got fixated on the movement of his sweater, and now that's part of how the birds became.
That is something I envy so much about true artists like that they see things that we just don't see, that they observe things. And that's what makes them true artists, is that they observe what we perceive to be the imperceivable. Yeah. And that's what I so appreciate. I also do appreciate that leg, because one of the things that I think is so important about that leg from a storytelling and an immersion aspect, it is the closest thing that you get to physically on that ride.
Yeah.
And it is where you are faced with discomfort. That it is, and I mean, if you think about it, this is the way that it's designed, that it is so close to, and it's such an awkward part of the body to be close to, that it's that dirty foot. And in a lot of ways, it's brilliantly placed, because it does make you feel the grit. It does make you feel like you are necessarily involved with the grossness of the pirates. And that's what's so awesome about it. And we don't think about that when we go under it. We just feel it. But all of those feelings are based off of these exact things that we're thinking of, that again, Burns and Coates and all these people who were putting their heart and soul into this were thinking of, maybe not on an intellectual level, but emotionally and artistically. They absolutely knew what was going to hit and how to make it hit to be so impactful. And so, sorry, I gush about those things because they are so brilliant.
Well, and the fact too that they thought to make his foot dirt, like they could have just left it, and like nobody would have really. Maybe
but no,
been, like,
they were always thinking about how to make it the most realistic possible, and nobody's ever crossed under that bridge and like not stared up at that hairy leg. You know,
some people
for
have
years,
the goat
there was...
stare at Big Thunder Mountain, and other people have the dirty foot pirate stare at pirates.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but for many years there was something hanging off of that foot.
What?
Like it was like something dangling off of that foot. Yes. And especially when I was working there, we would ride it hundreds of times. And there was something that they didn't catch from custodial. And every single time we were like, it's coming down this time. It's coming down this time.
Well, I'm glad they've seemed to apparently fix it.
Yeah.
Yes, no doubt. One thing that I'm curious about is, I think that us Disney fans, we always see somebody's career in context of their time at Disney, and obviously the person continues on after their time at Disney. And one thing that I'm curious with Harriet is, when did your grandmother retire or move on from the Walt Disney Company?
She was a career Imagineer.
Okay.
And so she worked there until 1986.
Okay.
Wow.
And she retired. And then she retired.
And just was donezo.
And she was retired, yeah. So that was her life's work, was for the Disney Company and for Walt Disney Imagineering. She obviously was more senior ranking by the end. She helped a lot. She worked a lot on Epcot. And that was when sort of like the new generation of Imagineers was coming in. You know, like Kim Irvine started then, and I've talked to Kim about that time, and you know, she talks about how much she looked up to my grandma, because I think their desks were very near each other in the 70s, I believe, is when she started. And a very dear family friend, Jim Sarno, came in that generation as well. And he worked side by side with my grandma after Fred Jerger retired. And he took over Fred Jerger's desk. And my grandma and Fred were very close friends and had a very fun banter and sometimes a very raunchy sense of humor. And so then Jim came in, and they very, hearteningly struck up a very similar type of friendship and had a really great time working together. And so, those types of things make me happy that she sort of became a shepherd for the new generation of Imagineers coming in the 70s and very early 80s. And then she retired in 1986 after 31 years.
Wow.
31 years.
And vast majority of that time was in Imagineering because she only spent, what'd you say, a couple weeks outside of it.
And, they did kind of like, it was all hands on deck. There was never like, that's not my job description.
Yeah.
That was never a phrase that was ever uttered. They just sort of did stuff. And so they did work on live action films. She did sometimes go back to the Mickey Mouse Club and help out. I think I heard a story of her. She had to do some, like, hold up a puppet or something when there was like a celebrity on the show. I don't remember all the details of the story, but like somebody had to like hide behind a table and just like hold a puppet up, and like her arm almost fell off.
Oh my gosh.
So they did all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of projects too, not just for the parks, but also for the live action films. She did lots of props and some set design for those as well. I know she worked heavily on Babes in Toyland.
Oh.
I think, in my opinion, the two most favorite props and my two favorite things that she worked on that I know of from the films was the original Sleeping Beauty storybook.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is my grandma's book. She made that, and it makes me so now they have like some merch that they sell of the original storybooks that you can buy as a journal or something. And so immediately I bought the Sleeping Beauty journal. I gave it to my mom.
That's great.
And there's like a Loungefly backpack that has the Sleeping Beauty book on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw somebody, literally, I had to stop somebody in line we were in line at Jungle Cruise.
There you go.
Yes.
But I was like, where did you get that backpack? And then, of course, I had to like tell her why I was freaking out so hard. But I was like, my grandma made the book, and that's the book, and it's right. It's on a backpack, and
it's on you.
And it's on you. And how do I get it? So I did. I found it. I got it.
That's amazing.
And it is my favorite Loungefly now. But, so that's to me one of the most iconic props that she worked on that nobody knows that she made,
Yeah.
But I think it's incredible that she did all the jewels, herself. And when she retired, they gave her a replica of the book. It's a huge thing. But instead of Sleeping Beauty, it was, in cursive embroidered Harriet Burns.
Oh, that's too cool.
That's
inside
amazing.
the book is a bunch of farewell tributes from all of her colleagues.
Oh. Was that hard? Do you think that was hard for her? Did she ever talk about, like, with that, it inevitably becomes a part of your identity after 31 years. Did she ever seem to struggle with, separating after that and going on from that? Or was she just kind of like, that was my job and I'm done now?
Yeah. No, I think that was her job and she was very proud of it. I think she was very grateful for her time there, but retired when it was time to retire, when it was time for her to move on.
There's obviously still some level of magic, though, there that she understood how special this was, because clearly it was passed down from generation to generation now with you. And so I'm curious, from that legacy standpoint, what were the things that she was doing with your mom and then you as grandkids to kind of keep that magic alive? Was it just those annual visits to the park, or was she doing things outside of that to kind of keep that Disney magic part of the family?
That's a great question. I was so young that I don't know that I was even aware of a lot. She died when I was 18 years old. And so I was just starting to become an adult. And my greatest wish is that I could have more conversations with her now, that I know so much more and I'm so much more aware. And I'm like, the questions that I would have asked if I wasn't a stupid, self-absorbed teenager. Definitely in those annual visits to the park for sure. But she just kind of was a magical grandma. Like she went really hard on the birthdays and the holidays, like decorations, and she showed up. We've got old home video, like when home videos were like the giant camera that sat on your shoulder in 1989 of my sister's 5th birthday party. So I wasn't alive yet. My grandma showed up for the party, but popped out of a giant present to surprise my sister. They found like a giant box out on the porch, and she was always doing little surprises, creating little magical things like that. We also, the funny story about that home video and that birthday for my sister is that Jack Boyd came along with her, another Disney legend. They were very close friends, and he agreed to dress up as an elephant for like the birthday party. And the idea was grandma's, the surprise present would show up on the porch, which would distract all the little 4-year-olds so that Jack Boyd could run away and change out of this swelteringly hot elephant costume. But the kids were so enamored. But the diversion didn't work. Everybody was so enamored by the elephant. Nobody gave any mind to this box. And they chased him halfway down the block. My mom had to be like, come back.
I'm here. I'm in here.
So Jack Boyd, dressed in a swelteringly hot elephant costume, went to my sister's 5th birthday party. And then my grandma surprised her by popping out of a box.
That's incredible.
That is awesome. Well, and one thing that I think is really important for this is your family obviously understands the heritage, the legacy, the importance here, because there was a book written by, is it your mom who wrote this book?
My mom.
Yeah, the Walt Disney's first Lady of Imagineering.
Yeah, it's a tribute composition. And
Explain that.
It's not, so it's not a written book in that it's not a biography cover to cover. And there's a couple of reviews on the book that didn't understand that before they purchased it. And they're like, mah, mah, mah. But my mom created this book after my grandma's memorial. And we had a very beautiful memorial celebration almost a full year after she passed away.
Oh, wow.
Just because it was quite an event to plan. And my mom was so taken by the stories that people came up to tell her. Everybody had an incredibly personal story to share about my grandmother and how she touched their life and made them feel like an important, wonderful person. Wow. Things like she would always remember somebody's kids' names and how old they were and write about them. And she would always send a thank you card no matter what. Sometimes she would thank you for a thank you. And so she had this wonderful way of making people feel seen and feel very special. And everybody just started pouring these stories out to my mom after she passed away. And my mom was like, I need to do something with these stories. I need to collect them and memorialize her that way and acknowledge her impact on people that she knew. And so that's what the book is. It is a compilation it's a collection of stories from people that she worked with, from family members and friends. And so it's not all about Disney history. A lot of it is, because that was such a huge part of her life. And there are many contributions from her Disney colleagues who wrote stories about her in the book. But then, I wrote a story. I was 18, and there's a very cute little story that I wrote in there about her and what it was like to have her as a grandma. My sister was a huge part of creating that book as well. At the time, my sister had just gotten her design degree.
Oh.
She studied interior design, but was also working in other aspects of design. And so she helped, create the aesthetic look of the book alongside Don Perry. He was my mom's co-author. And Don Perry is a wonderful, wonderful guy and Disney historian. He's just released a new book with Pete Docter in the last couple of years about directing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
really cool. So they all put this book together. I was in college and, I went off to college shortly after my grandma died. So I was very much caught up in my musical theater degree. So I didn't have a ton to do with the creation of the book myself, but it was a really huge project that meant so much to the family to be able to put out there. Eventually one day, I'd love for there to be a full cover-to-cover biography of my grandma. So if there are any authors out there listening who want to, jump in on a project, now's your shot. But none of us are authors and none of us really have the bandwidth to write a book ourselves. Yeah. But it would be, it's something that I would love to have out there in the world.
But what better way to get to know your grandma than the stories from those who were closest to her? I think that that's something that's absolutely incredible. Is a biography would be wonderful, yet this is in some ways more impactful because they are the direct stories from the people who knew her best instead of just some sort of third party biographer. I think that's beautiful. I love that.
And I'll plug it really quick just to let people know. There were rumors out there that the book was out of print, which isn't necessarily true. My mom fulfills all the orders individually.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be on Amazon, but the fees and the shenanigans that went down with just like having to list something on Amazon was very difficult and expensive. Became really not worth it. And so my mom just sells the books from the website is called
ImagineerHarriet.com.
That's the one.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm on the PayPal page.
And I do think like we need to update the website, but it's just all my mom. It's just, she does that herself. And so you can still purchase the book. Don't buy some expensive secondhand resale copy for whatever somebody's trying to sell it for on eBay, because you can still buy the book from my mom on ImagineerHarriet.com.
I love it. And that's what I'm doing right as we speak.
And we will have a link in the show notes to the website as well. So if any listeners are interested in getting their own copy, right where to go, we'll send you right to the right place. That is special, though. I agree, Alex. I think, yes, a cover-to-cover biography would be amazing because, as we were discussing, her story is not one that a lot of people really know that much about. And I think it's important for people to know who Harriet was. And, like Alex mentioned earlier, like where her fingerprints are still found throughout the park, because that's kind of the incredible thing. Everything that we've talked about still exists. That those attractions and those things are all still there. There's still things that are bringing joy to thousands, millions of guests daily, yearly, etc. And that's just wild. And the fact that, you have such close ties to these things is just unbelievable. Just unbelievably cool.
It's very special. And I don't take that for granted. Certainly not now. Even if there was a time in my teen years where I did. I love being able to claim my grandmother as the first female Imagineer and how cool that is. And I'm always bursting with pride to talk about it. In fact, there's a new tour in Disneyland called The Women Who Make the Magic. And there's a whole section where they talk all about my grandma. And I hadn't had the chance to tell the tour guide yet, that, she was mine and vice,
Yeah.
And so he was going through his whole spiel and he's doing a great job. And it was a very small tour group. Me and my husband and one other person, and he's doing the spiel about her, and my husband could just tell that I was like
bubbling,
just like and he was like, would you like to and I was finally just like, yeah, she was my grandma. And so it's exciting to me to be able to talk about it, and I am glad I actually withheld that until after he was done talking about her, because I didn't want to make him he was like, did I get it right? Did I do it right? And I was like, you did great. Everything was great. But it is a wonderful tour. If anybody is interested, I think it's totally worth it. You also get like a VIP spot to watch the fireworks at night. They give you a sweet treat that was delicious. You get to ride the storybook cruise.
Oh yes.
Storybook Land Canal boats.
Which she worked heavily on, being a model maker.
Being a model creator, that makes sense.
That was her like lane right there. Is that attraction?
Exactly. So I know that she built Snow White's cottage in that amongst several others. There's a funny story about that one too. I always have another story to pop up. So
we love it.
Love it.
Tangent. She was working on a stained glass. I think there's there's something in one of the models that needed real authentic stained glass. And so she's doing this miniature authentic stained glass with, I don't know, a couple hundred pieces of glass.
Wow.
And it was all laid down, and she had it like just so. And there was, of course, lead in between because that's what they used.
Yeah.
Why not?
But it hadn't been soldered yet. It hadn't actually been stuck together. And Walt didn't know that. And he came in because he loved to visit the model shop. It was like his playground. He would come in. And Walt was a very talented model maker himself, I found out recently.
Yeah.
And so he would love to come and tinker and see what they're doing and just hang out and play whenever he could catch a break. And he went to pick it up. But, what's this? And he picked it up. Hundreds of tiny itty bitty stained glass and lead pieces flew all over. And she had to do it all over again.
Oh, no.
And it was Walt, so it's not like you can be that mad.
Exactly.
You can't be, outwardly angry is not allowed.
Right,
no.
Oh. So now every time you guys float down the Storybook Land Canal boats, you can try and find that stained glass window. Now you know an extra fun fact.
There was one story I wanted to actually circle all the way back to.
Because for Pirates?
There were not from Pirates. I said there were two props that I loved that she made for the films. I had also said there were a story about working with real materials.
Yes.
This is the same story that ties both of these points together. And my ADHD brain was like, I have to get back to that.
No, you're good.
So she was working on the Robin for Spoonful of Sugar in Mary Poppins.
Oh, yes. Which is a huge illusion.
Huge illusion. And of course, that is an animatronic bird.
Mm-hmm.
But Walt, the stakes on that were so much higher because it was a live action film that was going to be blown up to a movie, theater screen size. And so every detail had to be exactly realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted a real robin skin for this robin.
Oh,
but
no.
a robin is a federally protected bird.
Oh, no.
And they
Are we going to talk about felonies occurring here soon?
They wrote to the government, I don't know how many times, to try and get permission. And nobody ever wrote back. They never heard back. And Walt kept coming back. And just the film was wrapping up. They were like, we've been waiting on this permission to film this one shot.
Wow.
For the entire shoot of Mary Poppins. And they're like, the film is going to wrap. We have to finish this. Mm-hmm. And so they finally ended up she found out there was a museum, a natural history museum that had a couple that were preserved. And they wrote to them. I think they did end up maybe bribing them with Disney tickets or something.
Wow.
Smuggled out a museum robin for that scene.
I don't know if it was smuggled. It was gifted with permission of the museum.
Well, smuggled makes it sound more clandestine.
It certainly does. But they were gifted this robin skin from a natural history museum.
Yeah.
And it was preserved in arsenic.
Oh,
and
lead, arsenic. What else can we get in there? Maybe some uranium somewhere.
There's a funny story about acetone. So she had to personally scrape off the arsenic from this preserved robin skin to put it on the robin and spoonful of sugar because it had to look. That's why it looks so realistic.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
word!
wild.
That's a great story. I will never look at that robin the same.
Nope, definitely not. Who knew that robin was had that big of a story behind it? That there needs to be yeah.
But it was one of the last things to be shot because they couldn't. They tried to do it on the up and up way, and they tried to get permission from the government, and they just never heard back. And they were the film has to finish.
That's wild.
We're on a tight schedule, And then I mentioned there's a fun story about acetone. It's a very short story, but she was wearing a skirt. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the fabric. Somebody who knows fabrics and fashion can probably tell me what kind it was because she was working with acetone, possibly to clean off her paintbrushes or something, and it spilled in her lap. And it dissolved her entire
skirt. Oh no!
No. And so she. I've heard the audio interview of this, and she's just giggling away, I was sitting there with no clothes on. But Fred Jerger came through. Fred Jerger had an extra pair of blue jeans with him, and I guess loaned her
and saved
his jeans to
that
save the day.
So funny.
And I would not be surprised if that was the only day in her entire life that she wore jeans.
Well, it's an appropriate occasion, I would say. I think that is definitely worth it.
Part of her reputation was her impeccable appearance and
very elegant all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
And the fact that she was in the model shop, and I'm sure that was not a very clean place to be. That
it didn't lend to elegance.
No.
Well, she says that she from that point on, after the acetone incident, she always she would use a smock, but take it off and tie it around her waist and in her lap every time she had to work with chemicals after that so that she wouldn't dissolve her clothes.
That's wild.
But she always had designer whatever, it was like a skirt suit set, and her hair was always done up just so, and she wore this silk scarf around her neck, and I mean, it's she would show up to work in the shop with power tools in this gorgeous designer clothes and heels, always heels.
Naturally, that's what you would wear in a model shop.
I don't know how she did it. I really don't. But she really had an aesthetic that she stuck to, and it became her brand. It was her image. Yeah. It was her thing, and it boggles my mind. But that's how I think she felt she needed to present herself in order to be taken seriously, maybe as a woman. But then she always says she kept a pair of slacks in her bag for when she had to climb to high places.
Oh.
Except
I do the same thing
with the acetone.
Right.
I do think that it's telling to her skill, her talent, her clout, because you brought this up earlier, the fact that a lot of people don't realize that Disneyland, the idea for Disneyland actually started in the world of miniatures for Walt Disney. Mm-hmm. That he actually was building a diorama series that he wanted to travel the country with based off of his love of miniatures that was pretty much kicked off by his love of railroading. And he wanted to, with his models, he wanted to create scale model materials. And with that, as you said, Haley, he became really good at the creation of miniatures. Mm-hmm. And so to be selected by somebody who was naturally gifted in this, because let's be honest, Walt Disney wasn't a great animator. He really did not have a huge skill at animation. And he would have been one of the first to admit that. You even hear that in A Magical Life, that he talks about how he doesn't animate anything. And even from the beginning, he leaned in on Ub Iwerks, but he was good at miniatures. Mm-hmm. And so to be selected by somebody like Walt Disney, who was so selective based off of your skill, to be in one of the leading roles of this land that was based off of miniatures as a model designer and creator, I don't know if there could be any larger honor than that.
That's very true.
And I think that that's something that really speaks to your grandma's skill, abilities, and just who it sounds like she was as a person. Mm-hmm. So you have every reason to be very proud of that legacy and of that heritage of your grandma, for sure.
Aw, thanks.
Now, with that, before we wrap up, one question that I have is, Haley, how are you? What do you do? Tell us about yourself.
Little me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a voice actor now, full-time, pretty much. I love doing voiceover.
And what do you specialize in the voiceover world?
All kinds of things.
Okay.
I primarily voice commercials, that's what I have voiced primarily for the last 10 years. And I've just started to make some breaks and some little cracks in animation character world, which is really where the dream is. Because my heart and my home is in musical theater.
Okay.
I grew up doing musical theater. I got my degree from Boston Conservatory, and I lived in New York for 8 years doing the theater thing.
Sounds like you might be a little serious about that.
But decided to leave New York in 2021 and come back west because I am a West Coast girl. And it was in that time, I started in voiceover around 2015. Funny story there a little bit. One of the things my grandmother gifted me genetically was my bunions. I had really messed up feet. And that I had to take time off from theater to get those fixed. I had 2 different surgeries a year apart. And it was that time. It ended up being a gift because it was in that time while I was recovering from the surgeries I couldn't perform. Mm-hmm. That's when I started doing voiceover. That's
awesome.
That was the transition. There you go.
Because I was like, what do? I can't dance. I can't, be on stage for 2 years while I work on this. Mm-hmm. And so then I started taking voiceover classes in New York, and that's how that all snowballed. And now I absolutely love voiceover. It is wonderful. I'm recording this from my home studio in my booth that I work out of. I've tricked it out. It looks a little bit like a fairy booth because you have to make it bright and fun and shiny.
Of
Spend
course.
so many hours in here all day. But I have voiced tons of commercials over the years. The most recognizable ones that folks might have heard were Kohl's. I was the voice of Kohl's department stores for about 5 years.
Your voice sounds very familiar to me. And I think that around Christmas time, I think that I've heard your voice on some Kohl's commercials,
me
maybe.
Screaming at you about 20% off something or other.
20% off.
Give joy, get joy. That was their slogan for many years while I was with them
I
at Christmas
love it.
time was give joy, get joy. And I had so much fun. I loved working with them. They're a fabulous client. It's very rare actually to have a brand relationship for that long in the commercial world for 5 whole years.
That's amazing.
More recently, I've done some stuff for Dunkin' Donuts. I've done a couple spots for Citizens Bank. Brita Water was a really fun campaign. I got to get a little snarky with that one. Love sarcasm. I love snark. So those are just a few commercial campaigns that I worked on. And then more recently, I did finally catch my break with Disney. That was so exciting.
Ooh.
Yes. Is it something you can share?
There's one that I do believe I can share without being too specific.
Sure.
Because both of the jobs that I booked for Disney were voice matches.
Oh, okay.
And voice matching, for those who might not understand, is when there's 2 examples. The first being if there's a celebrity who has voiced a role in a film.
Mm-hmm.
There's other projects that happen, video games, park shows, things like that. They have the option to accept that, or they can turn down that particular project, in which case they will cast a voice match or a sound-alike who can do that character and sound just like them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So
a famous one being Tom Hanks' brother for all of the Toy Story stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I am the voice match for a character.
Very cool.
In the new World of Color Happiness show.
Oh, look at that. You have right back to
You're in
Disneyland.
the parks.
Yeah, I'm in the parks. And when I booked it, I didn't know what it was going to be used for. I just knew that I booked the character. And then I got to the session and they were like, so this is for World of Color. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
And so I get to go see it, and just like, oh my God, the first time I saw it, I went, of course, the weekend that it opened for the Disney 70th celebration. And I just bawled my little face right off the whole entire show. I don't even think I saw the show, because I was just waterworks the whole time. It was a
total full circle moment for you.
Very special experience to have. You'll never guess who I voice.
Now I'm going to go watch it, and I'm going to be listening.
You'll never know. And then the other voice match character I booked, I cannot talk about because the project's not out yet.
It's Coco,
Still
isn't
exciting,
it?
Though.
Are you the voice of Miguel?
Yes,
the attraction,
absolutely, totally. That's on point casting. Yep.
Very cool, though.
Whenever that project is released, funnily enough, I recorded it almost 2 years ago now, so it takes that long.
Wow.
It's going to be a feature released on Disney Plus, is what I know. That's all I know.
Oh. Because now we have some hints. Now we have some Easter eggs to follow.
But also, I can't talk about it too much, not only because I'm not allowed to, but because, you never know when you record certain characters, like for a film especially, will they make the final cut?
Yeah,
God, I hope so. I'm going to be crushed if my character gets cut. But you never know. So I never want to get, the cart before the horse kind of thing. But it was just really, really fun and very exciting to be able to go into the studio and voice for a couple of Disney characters. That was really special.
When it releases, would you come back and chat with us about the project once it's public?
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Just can't imagine the patience you have and the restraint to have done this
none.
2 years ago and not be able to talk about it.
No patience at all. I'm dying.
You're just screaming into your pillow every once in a while so you can get it out. My gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, that is a lot of self-control.
I didn't mention the first instance in which they cast a voice match is when a celebrity says no thanks to a project outside of the film itself. But
so who was that celebrity who said no, Haley?
Someone that would have been a character in World of Color. Happiness, World of Color Happiness.
But the other circumstance in which they cast a voice match is when it's an older character and the voice actor is no longer with us.
Sure.
And they have to recast the character.
Yeah.
So those are the two instances. But it's so much fun to do character voice matches. For me, I love it as a singer. I get to kind of use my ear and then and I just love voicing characters. So it's very exciting for me in the voiceover world. So
cool.
Yeah.
That's
Congratulations.
Me in my life. Thank you.
So speaking of all of this, where can people follow you? Where can they find you?
Oh, yeah. So I'm on Instagram primarily. My Instagram is Haley.Clair, and you have to spell it right. That is HALEY.CLAIR. So there's no extra I's or Y's in Haley, and there's no extra E in Claire.
Sounds like you've said that a few times.
What? Not my whole life. It's fine. But that's me on Instagram. I often, I would say Instagram is the most. I have technically opened a TikTok account. I've never done anything
We
on
understand.
there. It's too intimidating. Sorry to all my Gen Z and Gen Alpha listeners out there. I'm not really on TikTok.
It's a lot.
But yeah, so primarily Instagram. By all means, sometimes I post about music stuff. I'm working on a project right now that's very exciting. I'm getting ready to go to New York to shoot a music video for a song that I wrote it's very musical theater comedy style, but it is a satire and it's very irreverent. I'll just say that much.
I love that.
I like swear words. So So there's a lot of bad words, but it's really funny that I'm going to shoot in New York. So it's sometimes I'm posting about that stuff. Sometimes it's my voiceover stuff. Sometimes it's Disney stuff and grandma stories. So I don't really have a branded Instagram page that only posts the same type of thing.
Always a surprise, though. I like that.
So, but I am on Instagram a lot. So I by all means, come follow me, folks.
Perfect. We will get that linked in the show notes as well, so everyone can
Thank you.
find that as well. And I believe you guys have a Instagram or at least a Facebook.
We have a Facebook.
Yep, for Harriet.
For my grandma, Imagineer Harriet, that is run by my mom, once again. Sometimes my sister will help chime in, just, social media, and helps my mom figure some things out.
I did just purchase the book, so if you could have your mom sign it, that would be wonderful for me.
I will make the note to her. Mom, if you're listening, sign it for Alex Stewart.
It came under Brian Stewart, which is my first name, my legal first name. So if you're hearing that, Haley's mom, take note.
So,
but yeah, she enjoys keeping up the Imagining Harriet page, and
I love that.
That's awesome.
We just concluded Women's History Month in March, and eventually I'm going to try to put together a reel of my experience taking that tour, the Women of Making the Magic, and that I would love to share and help, encourage people to take that tour.
That'd be awesome.
More,
That's
very good.
So, Haley, one last thing before we wrap. So, your grandmother was very influential, as we've talked about. We mentioned at the beginning that she was a Disney legend. What other cool honors has she gotten from her time and career at Disney? Doesn't she have a window?
Oh, thank you. I was like, more than the legend? I feel like that was
there's something else.
Do I not know? Do you know something I don't know? The window. Yes, I love the window. Mm-hmm. I visit it every time I go to the park, and I say, hi, Grandma. My grandmother was honored with a window on Main Street, USA in Disneyland. And you can find it if you're looking straight at the firehouse. And upstairs is where Walt's apartment is. And you often see the little light in the lamp that's turned on in the window. If you turn exactly to the right, the second story of the Emporium is right there. Mm-hmm. And her window is on the second story wall of the Emporium.
So
on Main Street, right beside the firehouse. Oftentimes, you'll find the Dapper Dans performing right there in the corner under her window. And I love to visit the window. I believe it reads, Harriet Miniatures. Oh, gosh, now I'm spacing.
I've got it right here.
Thank you. Come through for me.
The Artisan's Loft Handmade Miniatures by Harriet Burns.
I love that.
It also says, this is the internet. You would be the source that would be able to tell us if this is correct or not, Haley. Mm-hmm. That she was the first woman in Disney history to receive this honor.
Yes.
That's incredible.
So.
First woman Imagineer. First woman with a window on Main Street.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I think you guys have interviewed Philander Butler a couple of times.
Yeah.
I adore Philander, and he's fabulous. And everybody should go follow his page, because his knowledge is unmatched. Mm-hmm. But he was telling me that there's shockingly few. I don't know what the number is, but there's you could count on less than 10 fingers, I think.
Oh.
How many female windows there are. And so we want to, encourage Disney to continue to honor more women.
Yeah.
I know. I'm very excited. Kim Irvine is getting her Disney Legend Award this year.
Yes.
That's very exciting. And
I think she's getting a window too, isn't she?
I do. I think so as well.
Yeah.
So that is upping the numbers for the women represented on Main Street. I think that's great. But yes, and it makes the most sense that my grandma was the first one to receive that honor, because she was the first woman to do it.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
Incredible.
The other fun, actually, little honor that she has is on the Florida side, in Disney World, she has a tombstone at the Haunted Mansion.
I
don't know if everybody knows the stories behind the tombstones, but all of the tombstones that you see in line waiting for the Haunted Mansion in Florida are the epitaphs honor a different Imagineer with their first name, and then a very silly little rhyming ditty for the epitaph. And so hers reads, I do actually have this one memorized. First Lady of the Opera, our haunting Harriet, searched for a tune but never could carry it.
I love it. That's amazing.
Which is very silly, and actually says absolutely nothing about her singing ability, because she was a lovely musician. She played the piano at Christmas time for us all the time and would sing carols. But the First Lady of the Opera bit is sort of that wink to her being the First Lady of Imagineering.
That's awesome.
I did a deep dive on this on an Instagram reel that I posted a year or two ago, because I ran one of the Run Disney races, the Haunted Mansion race, and I dressed up as her tombstone because it was a Haunted Mansion themed 10K, I think. So I did an Instagram reel to kind of explain. And so that epitaph has now manifested several different times. If you watch the Muppets Haunted Mansion, Darren Criss, I think, sings the lyric. as he's going through the epitaphs, and the ghost of haunting Harriet appears out of the ground.
Yes.
She's the opera ghost, you know, with the horns.
With the horns.
Absolutely nothing.
She's from This
like
Is
my
Us.
grandma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the opera ghost looks nothing like my grandmother, but that's the opera ghost that comes up out of my grandma's tombstone. And the second homage that they paid to her was in the role named Harriet in the new Haunted Mansion film.
Oh.
So most of the roles, or the characters, I mean, in the film were very like cheekily named with a wink and a nod towards many of the Imagineers who helped create the Haunted Mansion.
I feel like I need to turn my Haunted Mansion card in because I did not know that. That is fascinating. That
you have to, if you look up the character names, and I believe the Harriet character is the lead played by Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Again, not physically representative of what my grandmother looks like, but they did all these subtle little nods by naming many of the characters after the Imagineers. So that all of those are fun little honors that she has.
Super cool.
That I really appreciate.
Super, super cool. Well, Haley, thank you so much for your time today. We have one final question that we always like to wrap with. If you could work at Disneyland, what would you do there? Sky's the limit. You could even make up your own position.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. You know, people have asked me many times, would you ever perform there, you know, as a character in the parades? I actually don't think I don't know that I would, because I've always been of the type of person to be like, I don't want to be behind the scenes. I don't want to ruin the magic for myself. I want to experience
the magic.
I just want to experience it from the onstage part. But if, you know, I talk about the armchair Imagineering. I think I would actually have so much fun, like as an Imagineering consultant or something like that. I don't know.
There you go.
But I think it would be one of those things, either as a character performer in the parks, or I think it would be the most thrilling to be an Imagineer for a day.
Yeah.
To do that. And then as far as real jobs that exist, being a skipper on the Jungle Cruise would be a hoot. I think that'd be so fun. But I would be so bad at sticking to script. I would want to improv all over the place. I'd get in such big trouble.
You would have been a Jungle Cruise skipper like 20 plus years ago.
I know. Oh my God. I could never do it now, because I would cause all the shenanigans, but I think it'd be so much fun. So those are three things that maybe I would dabble with, you know, but for me, now that I get to actually be a voice in the parks, that's the dream come true.
I was going to say, I mean, I feel like you've got a pretty good spot right now with being a voice in the parks. Now, I need to go watch World of Color 1 now so I can think of you while I'm doing that.
Yeah, not World of Color 1, World of Color Happiness.
Oh, Happiness. Yes, Happiness. Perfect. Well, thank you again so much, Haley. It was such a pleasure to talk to you about your wonderful, legendary grandmother, Harriet, and then learn more about your current ties to Disney and the parks as well.
Thank you so much. It's always so much fun. I feel like I can gush on and on and on all day about her because there's just so many good stories. So this was fun for me too. My cheeks hurt from smiling.
Wonderful. Well, if you enjoy listening to the show, please consider rating and reviewing the show on your podcast app. It helps other Disney fans become weekly tiers and part of the community.
Woo! Welcome back to Trivia Land, Chef. My name Raymond, and I hope them answers are bigger and better than this here back porch I got attached to me. Don't you know Evangeline and I wish y'all the best of luck.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we are going to find out the answers to the questions and see how Teresa and Alex did. How are we feeling? Are we confident we got these answers today?
With how you phrase that makes it sound like we will hear the right answers, as in we have not heard the right answers
you haven't
yet.
heard them yet.
It's always exciting to hear right answers, whether we've heard them yet or not.
Okay, well, yeah.
The only thing that I'm worried about is the boats, the motorboats, and the Carousel of Progress. That one I feel like maybe we
flip-flopped.
No, yeah, but we're just committed. We're committed.
Yeah, and you're not at all worried about that Country Bear Jamboree tarot card?
No, that one, if I've ever been confident in an answer, it's that one.
Oh, all right then. Well, let's see how you did, shall we? Your first listener submitted question from listener Jocelyn. Put the following 5 now defunct Disneyland attractions in order of the year that they debuted. Bonus points if you know the years. Well, you didn't
I forgot about that part.
You didn't guess that hard on the years.
1956 for Mike Fink keelboats.
No. You already answered the question. You don't have to start throwing out numbers. No. You had your chance. You had your chance.
Fair. I just want those bonus points.
Yep. So no bonus points awarded because you didn't try the first time.
Oh.
Fair enough.
But so the options were the Flying Saucers, the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train, the Carousel Progress, the Motorboat Cruise, and the Mike Fink keelboats. The order that you gave me was the Mike Fink keelboats, the Flying Saucers, the Mine Train, the Carousel Progress, and the motorboats. The correct order that I wanted was, in 1955, an opening year attraction but not an opening day attraction, the Mike Fink keelboats.
Oh.
Followed the next year in 1956 by the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train.
I didn't realize it was that early.
The
I
next
didn't either.
year, in 1957, the Motorboat Cruise.
We botched this horribly.
A 4-year gap before 1961 brought us the Flying Saucers.
Wow.
Okay.
I really thought those were much earlier.
And
I
then
did too.
3 years later, in 1964, the Carousel of Progress went to the World's Fair, and then in 1967 came to Disneyland.
Okay, so I did get the date for Carousel of Progress in there. We said 66 or 67.
Yes.
So we've got, if that's a waffly. I will say I'm shocked because I didn't realize. I thought that the Flying Saucers were removed before the 1959 redo of Tomorrowland. But apparently it was 2 years after that.
That's wild. I really thought those were like super duper early. And here for a blink.
Wow. Yep. Okay. Well, humbled again. So we got two.
And the other thing, the mule pack, the pack mules was 1 year?
That one, yeah.
It didn't really last.
No, I guess.
I thought it was much longer than that.
I would have thought longer than a year for
sure. Those stubborn old mules got out of there early, I guess.
They've lasted longer in the diorama at the Disney Family Museum than they lasted at Disneyland. Yep.
I just can't wait for the answer to this next one to really school you guys. To really put you guys in your place.
So let's get to it. Your second question from listener Todd B. Esmeralda the Fortune Teller has tarot cards that have, at least at some point in history, featured artwork from which attraction? Well, it's actually been more than just some point. It's been several points in history that these tarot cards have featured the artwork of the stretching room paintings of the Haunted Mansion.
Yes. Oh, man.
That's probably not the part of the mansion I would have guessed for them to feature.
But that's...
I mean, it would be cool if you had like one of the paintings on each one of those.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if you could make a collection out of it?
Yeah, that'd be like very cool.
Cards,
okay. In your research, is it current or this is now in the past?
I didn't find like we could go there now and be able to get them, but I did find multiple different chunks of years where it's been done. Yeah.
Now, you did misspeak when you said that. You meant to say in the lobby of the Country Bear Jamboree pre-show, right? That's what you meant to say.
What are the three heads?
Yeah, exactly.
Buff and...
Yep. Mo and Elmo or whatever.
Yeah, my dyslexia is really bad today, and Country Bear Jamboree looks exactly like
I knew you misspoke in that. Okay, fair. I'll forgive you this time.
Yep. So hopefully my dyslexia won't get the worst of me on this next question from listener Ace. Closing in 1963, Disneyland once had a museum of geology known as Mineral Hall. Where can you still find the original window from this exhibit? Well, the original facade you can still see in Frontierland. It's adjacent to the shooting gallery and that kind of general area. The window itself, the original glass window, can be seen over Rancho de Socalo.
Oh, so we were like 6 inches from it. Rainbow Ridge just shares that wall.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I have given myself now 2 assignments because we will be in the parks next week. I'm going to get myself a card from Esmeralda because now I'm curious if that is still, if it's still Haunted Mansion.
Are you just going to start pumping quarters in, take all of the Haunted Mansion cards?
And now I got to go check out the Mineral Hall because it's like you, Alex. I'm like, I know I've seen this. Where have I seen it? That was definitely not the place I thought I had seen it was. Rancho.
Well, and if I recall, didn't Walt procure that all of the minerals that went in that hall along with the petrified stump that is overlooking the rivers of America in my home state of Colorado? When he and Lillian were on an anniversary road trip, he stopped over and was trying to get stuff for Disneyland, and that's why he, as a joke, gifted her that giant stump, because she was so irritated that he was doing work while they were on their anniversary together.
Oh, look at that. Fun little fact.
That's a fun little tidbit there. All right, give us our last
Here,
shame.
Fourth and final question.
Oh, wait, we got this one right, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, right.
Your fourth and final question from listeners Paul and Chris. On Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, what does the RRR stand for on the trains? You said it's the Run-a-Muck Railroad. The correct answer that I was looking for was the Run-a-Muck Railroad.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes, we finally got... Well, we got two this time, didn't we?
We did.
Technically?
We got Haunted Mansion. And
Teresa got a Haunted Mansion.
Teresa got...
So.
No, I think Alex gets it too, because Alex said the logical answer is Haunted Mansion.
Actually, that was the first words out of his mouth until he talked himself into Country Bear.
I want to... This is the sword I will lay on, y'all. I want to stick with Country Bear.
Just because it's not doesn't mean it shouldn't be.
Yep.
I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting that artwork.
Yes,
there you go.
That makes sense. All right.
We did better than last week, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our little notes. We did better than last week. So.
All right.
Yeah, and don't blame me. It's the listeners. They're the
No,
ones that
not your
send
fault.
in these awesome questions. Speaking of listeners, if you do have that perfect question that's going to really stump them next week, the lines are always open. Please feel free to send that in at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast, Andy Mack for all the wonderful character transitions, and to James D. and Aaron C. for your support at the Club 33 level.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.